What's up, fellow sports bettors? So, the results from Saturday were mixed, 7 and 7. Fortunately, some of these bets that were plus money did hit, so that helped to offset some of the other ones a little bit better. The later half of the day, well, it was kind of mixed, I guess. It just seemed like the later half of my day went a little bit better. The Atlanta game was fantastic for me, 3-0 on that. I did end up taking a few other bets that did lose that were not on this slate later that were EV as well, such as the Colorado run line and the Milwaukee money line. Both made me sick to my stomach because Colorado was covering the run line up until the bottom of the eighth, and then the Mets just blasted a 3-run shot, killed the under and the run line all in one fell swoop, so that was kind of sick. And then the Brewers were winning 5-0. The first inning just went on a tear, and then their offense just completely died. And Washington steadily took back runs on them and ended up winning in the ninth inning, so that sucked. Dylan Cease had a fantastic day. I think he had 11 Ks. Brent Rooker had like 7 bases. But yeah, Cease's Ks helped to keep the under in Atlanta and San Diego. And then the WNBA, the under 87, I believe they finished the half at 89, so that almost hit. Looked like it was going to, but then they started scoring buckets like crazy. You know, shit like that happens. You're always going to have last-minute losses and last-minute wins. Just got to roll with it. But I'll go ahead and get into your insights for Sunday, July 14th. So here's your slate of games. I also happen to find one that I will put in the description as well, but I'm going to say it vocally on here because I just found it. It's Kyle Schwarber bases over 3.5. He is a Philadelphia Philly, so that's going to be the Oakland Phillies game. The no vig odds for this are a -110, and FanDuel has it as a +150. That is a huge EV, 31%. Most EVs are like 3, 4, 5%, so 31% is ridiculous. His track record of hitting it's not the best, but it doesn't really matter. We're going based on extra value, not on trend, which is kind of something I wanted to get into as well on this video to talk about why we're doing EV betting. Because you might be wondering, well, what the hell does EV do? Well, basically, the way I like to compare it is if any of you guys are gamblers outside of sports betting, like if you I play a lot of blackjack and craps, right? So I'll use that as an example. So if you play blackjack, you know that more and more Vegas casinos are implementing 6 to 5. It might even be all of Vegas now, except for downtown. That unless you want to pay an arm and a leg to play for the table minimum, you have to play. You have to play at a table that pays you 6 to 5. So the edge this creates for the house, I forget what it is. It's significant. It's like 4%, 4%, something like that. That's kind of the same thing as what we're doing with EV. So if you can play at a blackjack table that pays you 3 to 2, in the long run, you're gonna win more than if you play at a table that pays you 6 to 5. Because if you think about it, if you're playing, let's say, just for simplicity, you're playing at a $10 table, right? Which don't exist anymore, but I digress. So you're playing a $10 table, put up $10, you hit blackjack. The old tables that used to pay you, better, would pay you 3 to 2, which would be your bet plus half. You would get back $15. You get 10 plus half is 5 15. If you play a 6 to 5 table, that same $10 is going to give you back $12. So you're losing $3 extra on your bonus every time you hit the blackjack. So the same thing in sports betting. If you're booking a line at a more expensive price, in the long run of it playing out, you're going to lose money because it's costing you more money to make the bet. You're not getting as much back in profit when you win the bet. And so it just, takes chunks out of your bankroll over time. And that's kind of what we're playing in the strategy is variance. So over time, the EV is going to prove profitable because we are getting the bet at a good price. Now you might be wondering, how do we know we're getting the bet at a good price? Excellent question. Which goes into what I had said on the last video. I reached out to Outlier in the chat. They told me the book that they use, I suspected it was Pinnacle because it was labeled a P, and indeed it was. Pinnacle is a very sharp book. If any of you guys follow sports betting, religiously or even somewhat, you would know Pinnacle's a very, very sharp book. So that's great that they're using that. You can also, in Outlier, change the default book. I would not. Pinnacle's a very, very good book, probably the best book out there to base lines on, and they are friendly to sharp bettors too. So that's why their lines are so good, because they have sharp bettors influencing the lines. So the fact that they use that book helps you to know if your bet is extra value. And the one that I just mentioned to you, that bases one that I'll put in the description if you didn't hear me say it, that one is exceptional because the DVIG odds on that are minus 110 and FanDuel has it for plus 150. DVIG just means taking the juice out of the line. So what the sports books do to make a profit is they add extra juice to the line so that no matter which side hits, they get the bet back. That's essentially how they give themselves extra value, by the way. You can kind of think of it that way. And then if you think about it from a craps perspective, if you guys play craps, if you play at a table that, now this is not as common anymore, but if you play at a table that pays you, let's see, triple on the 2 or 12 in the field versus double, if you're a field player, if you find a table that pays you triple, I believe that brings the house edge down to like 1.5% versus the standard 4% for the field better. So if you play the field, of course, hitting 2 or 12 is difficult to do. But the fact that you get paid triple on it when you hit it helps to offset the other times that you don't hit the field. So it basically acts as like a buffer, extends your bankroll out, and gives you a chance to hit your streaks, because just like anything else, EV, you're going to have days where you hit a lot of bets, and then you're going to have days where you don't hit a lot of bets at all. But over time, if you're consistently getting the line at a good price, you're going to see profits arise from that. So that's essentially what we're doing. I just kind of wanted to go into the details of that to explain it, because it might be confusing. There's a lot of math involved, which is why Outlier is great, because it does all that for you. It also breaks down the Kelly criterion method, which is a great tool for determining your bet size. Now, I'm just a flat better for now. I'll probably get into that as I build my bankroll more and become more educated and experienced in this, but that helps you decide how much of your bankroll basically you're going to wager on a given bet, and you can do it in an eighth, in a fourth, in a half, in a full. Full is the most expensive, eighth is the cheapest, so you can kind of determine like how much of your bankroll you want to put on a bet. That's what that is. But I will stop my rambling and get this video out to you guys, since it's kind of getting later. I'm still awake doing schoolwork, so but the games are going to start, it looks like, here 10:40 in the morning, so I want to get these out. So only about 5 or 6 hours from now. So alright, anyways, hope you guys have a profitable Sunday, and I will be back with some Monday insights for you, and perhaps even more information. We'll see what I can think of to share. Alright guys, best of luck.